Welcome to my chambers. We had a lot of dispute in the past 2 weeks over language and legislation that Governor Andrew Cuomo here in New York signed, which permits abortions in the state of New York to protect the life of the mother or to preserve her health up to the moment of birth. It sounds gruesome and unkind and otherworldly, but it's actually the law everywhere in the United States. In New Jersey, for example, it's been the law for the past 2 generations. Not by political action or legislation, but by a simple rule by the Board of Medical Examiners, which regulates the practice of medicine that permits doctors to perform these abortions. Why would they perform them so late? Well, when the Supreme Court legalized abortion in an infamous case called Roe versus Wade, it said the baby in the womb is not a person. If the baby were a person, then the baby would be protected by the 5th Amendment and the 14th Amendment to the Constitution, which protects the lives of persons and requires that the laws apply equally to all persons. You can't take a class of people and remove the law's protections from them. That's what happened in slavery. And the 14th Amendment was written in large measure to make sure that the governments couldn't take a class of people and remove protection from them ever again. It's one of the 3 amendments that followed the completion of the war between the states. But this abortion thing and what happens to babies after they are aborted reared its awful, bloody, ugly head in a simple question to Governor Ralph Northam, who is also a pediatrician, the governor of Virginia, when he was talking about legislation in Virginia similar to that which passed in New York. When he was asked what would happen to a baby that survived an abortion, and an abortion during the 9th month where the baby was delivered instead of aborted, and he gave an awful answer. He said, well, the baby could just be set aside and the doctor and the mother could decide whether or not to let it die. Let it die? Isn't the baby a person? Whether you want to dispute if the baby is a person in the womb, I can understand that dispute. But a baby that is born is a person and is entitled to the protection of the law. That's under the natural law, that's under the Constitution. But that's not under Roe versus Wade, where it permits abortion at any time during the pregnancy if to preserve the health of the mother. And the companion case to Roe versus Wade called Doe versus Bolton defines health of the mother as physical, psychological, mental, emotional, or inexplicably age. So if a pregnant mom persuades her physician that she's not emotionally prepared to become a mother, or she's not of the right age to be a mother, the physician can abort the baby at any time during the pregnancy. What happens to a baby that's born alive? We had a famous murder trial recently in Philadelphia. The defendant was a physician, Dr. Kermit Gosnell. He aborted babies live and then slaughtered them with a scalpel, and he was charged with murder and he was convicted. During his trial, the government introduced an abortion physician as an expert witness. Question: what do you do when the baby's born alive? Answer: you let it die. Gag or choke to death or suffocate. My God, the first thing doctors are taught in medical school is first, do no harm. What doctor would let a baby die? Under abortion, that is what happens. No country can survive very long when it permits the killing of human persons because they are unwanted. No government that can define away personhood can claim to understand the difference between right and wrong. Whose personhood will the government define away next? Welcome to my chambers. Fight the good fight.